wait no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I am your host, Joseph. It is here on this very show where each and every Thursday, me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. And again, we got big announcements, we got big topics. But before I do that, I need to introduce the best co-host, whoever is and whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. How are you, sir?
I'm great, Joe. Happy 2-year anniversary. I can't believe it's 2 years.
Dude, I
I
can't
can't
believe
it's 2 years.
honest to goodness, and you want to know how I found this out too? Because I'm really bad at anniversaries. It's not a
Sure.
thing that I'm very good at. I can't even. Sometimes I forget when my birthday is. Not even gonna lie. Sometimes it just passes me by. But the reason why is one day I got very bored. I was just like, when was the first day that you and I were on a show, right? That called the Trophy Room. When did we rebrand? And it was.
That's right, because I was on the previous iteration,
We don't talk about it.
but trophy room, just us. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. So with that said, it was the 13th was our first episode together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And that's where we launched it with the Trophy Room, the old logo, the old intro. Now that we got this new one, I'm pretty ecstatic for it. Thank you all. Man, it was such a good intro too. Oh, it took me a while to put it all together. Shout out to Adam Leonard, who did the heavy lifting, who gave us our new intro. Shout out as well to Purple Monkey, who gave us our original intro for the show. I went to Adam and I was like, give us something that screams PlayStation, like I'm walking through the history of PlayStation. Because if there's anybody that can do that, it's Adam, because he's a lifelong PlayStation gamer. So, man, thank you so freaking much. So, Kyle, new intro, we're streaming, people are watching. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. If you're like, hey, Kyle, you're inside. Why are you wearing a snow hat?
Yeah, why are you
my
wearing a
heat.
snow hat?
My heat is broken down here in the basement where I record. Once again, so it is currently like 52 degrees.
Yeah.
Which might not sound cold, but like over there is a door that leads to the outside, and that's not insulated. So I'm getting like a draft that's coming in here. So
And you let me in on something too to celebrate this 2-year anniversary. You got a less squeaky chair,
yeah.
maybe
Hear that?
even a non-squeaky chair. Look at that, you're moving. Now I'm the one with the squeaky chair. What's going on here? This is a little
I don't know.
fucked
It's
up if you ask
weird.
me.
It feels weird.
Uh,
I missed the squeak.
no, and then it dawned on me something very morbid. The squeak's gone. Also, Jiminy the Cricket no longer with us.
Thank God. Funny enough, crickets they don't like the cold, so
Yeah.
I think he's probably dead somewhere.
That's
in
what
the
I'm
wall.
thinking. I'm like, I think, hopefully he passed on what he knew. You know what I mean?
That's true. Let's hope he doesn't tell his relatives to come when it gets warm again.
Yeah.
Let's hope
Jiminy
that
the
doesn't
13th. Do what your great grandfather did.
Yeah.
Annoy a man in a basement. So, Kyle, listen,
Yes.
we got a lot of news. This is the biggest news week we've had. I can't even remember when. We're talking about PlayStation leaving E3, maybe even for good. We're going to be talking about Marvel's Avengers getting delayed. We're going to talk about Final Fantasy VII getting delayed. We're going to talk about that awesome, amazing Doom trailer. But before we get into that, the way we start each and every week is with what we've been playing. Kyle,
Yeah.
one game, because it's a lot of stuff. What have you been
Man,
playing?
one game? Okay. I'll pick the exciting one.
Okay.
Last weekend we had our holiday party for the kind of NYC community, and I mentioned in that group chat that I had a huge shame as a Vita owner, a game that I have not played yet, and that got rectified when I was given a copy by the wonderful Caesar, a copy of Persona 4 Golden.
Ooh.
And I have righted that wrong. I have started it, and I just want to time travel back to past Kyle and smack him in the face, saying like, why'd you wait this long?
Okay.
Like it is so cool. It's like a murder mystery. People are dying in this town, but they're showing up on the TV at midnight before they die.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you have to jump into the TV to go to this other realm, other like to find out what was going on. It's super intriguing. The Persona, it's like what Persona 5 is as far as like battle system from my brief time with Persona. And I'm just super excited to see it all the way through. I know it's a long game.
Yeah.
But that is going to be my go-to for a while now that we have more time before all these big games come out.
That's true. And that is the little thing. Like I've been like we just did the wagering, the betting on the fantasy league with the fans of the show, and I did not know that Warcraft 3 comes out in like 2 weeks, not even.
Oh boy.
And so I'm gonna dust out the old PC and start playing some of my childhood again. Like that, Warcraft 3 had such a warm place in my heart for it. I can't wait. And it makes me, like, I want a console version so bad. You know it can do it because it had an OG PlayStation release. So I would love that. Gosh, so much. But what I've been playing and what we were talking about a little bit in the chat is I've been playing with our good friend Luke Lore over at the Xbox Expansion Pass. Why did I say that so weird? And and we've been playing a lot of Battlefront 2. And I was just like, you know, coming off of the wins that I had with Bloodborne, because I platinumed it, because it's the game of the decade and the game of the generation, I was like, I could do anything. And so Nate in the Discord's like, Joe, do Flappy Bird. It's going to be easy. Or sorry, not Flappy Bird, sorry. Goat Simulator. There's a reason why I said Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird has a platinum trophy?
There's a reason. Whoa. So I did Goat Simulator. It's like 40 minutes. I'm just following a guide, just getting trophies. It's a dumb turn your brain off game. Sure. And then there's an achievement called Flappy Goat. You have to play Flappy Goat, which is Flappy Bird, and you can't, you have to get through 10 rings or whatever they call it. I can't get past fucking 3 to save my life.
Oh, man.
If someone had a gun to my mother's head, they would have pulled the trigger 8 hours ago, because I tried for 2 hours straight.
2 hours. Oh man!
I was just like, no, this is my eyes hurt. I hate every minute of this. So, Coffee Stain Studios, you're officially on my shit list.
Now, is there a version of the Flappy Bird, Flappy Goat game inside Goat Simulator?
That's the thing. Yeah. So the little mini game is in Goat Simulator.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a real pain in the ass achievement. Apparently, there's someone from Rooster Teeth who had like a big rage at this game. I can totally understand why, because it's really bullshit. But so I was just like, you know what? I need to platinum another Star Wars game. Lucas, Mr. Lore himself, why did I call him Lucas? Gave me this opening. I fell in love with Battlefront 2. I love what they've really just poured a whole amount of effort into. And so I got it on PlayStation via the EA Access program. Dude, and that's what I've been doing. I nailed out the campaign, and now I only have like 7 achievements left. So
nice.
But they're like 40. I have like 40 hours a game I have to go through in order to get that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a lot of hard work, Kyle. Who would have guessed it?
Yes. What is that other Star Wars game? Is it the either PS1, PS2 version that is out now on PS4 and stuff? What is that one? Jedi Academy?
Oh, I thought you were fucking with me for a second.
No, no. Absolutely not.
Jedi Academy 2. Yes.
Oh, does that have a trophy list?
Kyle.
Joe, I'm just saying. You want to platinum some Star Wars.
I might be. I think his name is Kyle Katarn, right? Someone in the chat will let me know. Because this is a live show, Kyle. We're live currently over at youtube.com/badbitgames. And now, you know what? That's what we've been playing. I went on way long in the tooth. My apologies, but still. Fuck you, Goat Simulator. But before we do, I want to just give a little plug. Yes, sir.
Jedi Outcast.
Jedi Outcast. So sorry.
And it 100% has trophies, show.
Does it have a platinum?
Yeah.
We're going in, boys. We're going in. But Kyle, let's get into the goobers. But before we do, let's thank our awesome new patron, Daniel L. Thank you so much for becoming a Patreon. Now, if we got you through a long day, a long work day, a long drive, gave you a laugh or two, please head on over to patreon.com/badbit. Throw a buck our way. It helps us grow this show, and it really does make us better. So if you guys could go over there, help us out, throw us a buck. Yeah. And also our silver producers, JB. Love you so much, JB. And Daniel Welsh. The Daniels are on fire. And so with all that said, Kyle, with all that out of the way, let's get into the first goober of the night.
And also because of your patronage, it's helping us go to PAX East, and it might potentially get us to go cover Sony at E3. Oh wait, it's not. PlayStation will not participate in E3 2020. Christopher Dring over at GameIndustry.biz is where this article came from. PlayStation will miss E3 for a second year in a row. The firm told GameIndustry.biz that it does not feel the vision for the event is right for what it has planned for this year. Instead, it will attend hundreds of consumer events to showcase upcoming games for PS4 and PS5. Quote, after thorough evaluation, SIE has decided not to participate in E3 2020, said a Sony Interactive Entertainment spokesperson. We have great respect for the ESA as an organization, but we do not feel the vision of E3 2020 is the right venue for what we are focused on this year. We will build upon our global event strategy in 2020 by participating in hundreds of consumer events across the globe. Our focus is on making sure fans feel part of the PlayStation family and have access to play their favorite content. We have a fantastic lineup of titles coming to PS4, and with the upcoming launch of PlayStation 5, we are truly looking forward to a year of celebration with our fans, end quote. PlayStation has used E3 as the place to unveil details of its next consoles since the very beginning, attending the first E3 in 1995 to detail the US launch of the original PlayStation. However, E3 organizer the ESA has struggled to satisfy all of its members who have been split over what they want the show to be. Some publishers, such as EA and Sony, want to see E3 become a fan celebration of games, whereas others would rather the event remained an industry-focused affair. The ESA has tried to satisfy both groups by introducing some consumer elements to E3, but with limited success.
So, again, second year in a row, PlayStation is totally out of the convention floor. What do you feel about the Sony quote? Of them going, we don't need E3, it doesn't fit our vision. How does it not fit their vision? They've come here for decades to launch consoles. How is it out of the vision now? Are you a little concerned?
I'm not. I'm not as concerned. Obviously, I'm not going to lie. I'm super disappointed. This past E3 of 2019, I thought it was lacking because Sony was not there. And I felt the lack of hype as far as me being a PlayStation fan and a video game fan because of Sony and PlayStation. So the fact that they're not coming this summer definitely hurts for being selfish for myself. Okay. But for them, I can see it making sense because for the PS4, they didn't unveil it at E3. They unveiled it at their own console event in February. I can easily see that doing that here. I think they truly believe in the state of plays, and I think they're going to be even bigger and better than what they have been, especially because we have the unknown of what the PS5 is and what the games are. I think it will hit better with the audience, and I think they will. I think that is the future of what this will be.
So you don't think it's a mistake by Sony saying, you know what, we're out of it?
I don't think it's. Yeah, I don't, and I don't want to plagiarize this. So there was a person on Twitter, Mr. Trevor Starkey himself. He's getting all the quotes for this, but he made a great point where the Switch was unveiled in November, and it was released a couple of months later. Like it doesn't have to be at E3 when a console is unveiled.
No, I think you're totally right. It doesn't have to be at E3, and I think Trevor's completely right. And I think it's such a simple quote. We often look past it, right? Because we know E3 for having these big moments, these big reveals. And so when Trevor's like, yeah, but like the Switch, remember, and how big of a success that is, it really does highlight the fact that E3 isn't important. It's not isn't as important. It's just not important anymore. And I think Nintendo has proved that. Look, they revealed the NX. It turned out to be the Switch. That was in what? I think October, November, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then it came out with that very, very weird January conference. And then a month-ish later, beginning of March, bam, it's out the gate and everybody's falling in love with this thing. And it's such a hard thing to get your hands on for like most of that year. So I think Trevor's completely right. I think everybody's overreacting, if I could be completely honest. Yeah. I think the conversation's being diluted by fanboyism and nostalgia more than anything. I absolutely don't think E3 is needed for anybody to be in the conversation, to be completely honest.
I think it makes sense as far like third party stuff. Yeah. So like Ubisoft having their own thing, and even Bethesda to a certain degree to showcase the games that are coming everywhere.
Yep.
But even like when it comes to Xbox, they have their own stuff with the Xbox XO and Inside Xbox stuff, which I think if done correctly, and we've seen them do it or kind of pivot that way a little bit, where they have this long form streams of showcasing what's coming out and in depth of these games, I can easily see them skipping in the future if they really truly wanted to.
Now, do you think, because this has been floated around, is it the forward-thinking thing of Sony to leave before everybody else does? Mm-hmm. Do you think it's a little bit of a step in, like, a backwards of Xbox to stay at the event in such a large way, or no?
I think it benefits them both. Right now.
Totally.
It benefits Sony because it worked last year. Really, there wasn't that much of a slowdown when it comes to PlayStation. And PlayStation left because Nintendo left. Yeah. And that obviously worked for Nintendo. And as far as Xbox, they're going to own E3.
Yeah, that'll be
going to own it.
I saw someone on Twitter ironically go, Phil Spencer has acquired E3, and instead of E3, it's P3. I'm like, that's pretty much it. This could just
wears just an E3 shirt at the conference, like, we own it now.
Yeah,
it's our next developer.
No, and I think that's where, like, it's a everyone wins scenario. It's just no one's kind of happy with the news because I know I speak for everybody in this chat where we're just like, hey, I remember going on Spike TV and watching the show. I remember going on G4. Olivia Munn used to be on G4. Doesn't that blow your mind? Like, you think back when you're a kid, simpler times, rose petal glasses, whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's rose colored. I get it, Adam Leonard. I get it. But it is sad because I hate to see it go, but I love to watch it leave. Kyle, I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. There is something here that gets me excited.
Oh.
And that is hundreds of fan events. Yeah. What do you think they mean by we're going to go to 100 plus fan events around the globe?
Yeah. So obviously that means PAX, right?
Do you think so?
PAXs. They were there last year. I don't see why they won't be there again this year.
I mean, here's the thing. They do have a very large presence at PAX, usually. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Usually.
Well, I think last year was like the first year they had that big of a spot. I could be, or am I thinking Comic-Con? I might be thinking Comic-Con. My mistake. Yeah. But yeah, I think they'll go back to PAXs. I mean, we're seeing it in our neck of the woods. They have that Experience PlayStation thing for the next month in the city. Yep. Where they're just kind of showcase PS4 and VR stuff, which is totally cool. I can't wait to go check it out. I could easily see them doing that, like a tour around the States. Mm-hmm.
Get the bus
elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. They call it the bang bus because it's always a bang up time when you visit the PlayStation bus.
I mean, they do have a bus with Patapon 2 in it. I played it at PSX on that bus.
Yeah. So where is Patapon 2?
Where is it?
Who knows?
But yeah, I think it makes sense. And of course, what is the Germany show? I'm blanking.
Gamescom.
Yeah. There's Gamescom. There's Paris Games Week. Like, there's plenty of stuff where they get TGS. Like, it makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I heard Imran Khan talk about it, of where at the end of the day, it costs around $60 million to launch a huge E3 presence, the size that of Microsoft, the size that of PlayStation. That sounds crazy when you do think about it hardcore, though. You're thinking about, Microsoft brought Keanu Reeves. He ain't free. They brought a Lego car. They did something with the bottom of the stage with lights and fog. You know what I mean? So
the leaves falling from the ceiling. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a lot of cash and a lot of effort to make that happen.
We're taking shots at Xbox. The last time Sony was there, look what they did. They built a fake church.
Yeah.
They had some guy play a traditional Japanese
flute
instrument.
Guy. Yeah, flute guy.
And they had all these like immersive things that you would walk through that we didn't even get to see.
And everybody thought it was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And it ruined the pacing of the show.
A lot of money.
Yeah, so like why hire Flute Man back when his rates are so high? Why hire back Keanu Reeves just for a meme? Like, when you can have something that is like a state of play, and then say, hey, we're not just bringing PlayStation, to one conference. We're bringing them to a lot of them. Like, yeah, you talked about there's a PlayStation experience in the city. I can now maybe play PlayStation 5, and it only take me 20 minutes to get there. So yeah, we're going to PAX East. Who knows, even PAX West. And we're able to maybe get our hands on it, and we wouldn't have that if it wasn't for Sony taking the risk. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad call. But Rob writes in and he asks this question: with companies like PlayStation, with companies like PlayStation skipping E3, do you feel that E3 has lost some of its importance as the years gone on? Yeah. Kyle, you're nodding your head. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm it's that oh my god, I'm blanking again.
Jiminy's back.
No, not Jiminy is long gone. I was just waiting for you to call my name.
Oh, Kyle.
Like, hey Kyle, what do you think? That's
Kyle,
my.
What do you think?
That's totally my bad. Yeah, I think it lost a little bit of its importance, but for, like I mentioned earlier, like the third party studios and stuff, and some of the smaller games that are there, in some ways it gives them more chance to shine because there's not this big giant skyscraper of Sony being there.
I think it's kind of like a win-win. It's kind of like a good breakup in a way. Sony's not walking away talking shit. They're just walking away doing their own thing, and E3's doing their own thing. Yeah. And, they'll probably meet each other in 10 years when they both have kids. And they'll be like, hey.
Now, question.
What could have been? Yes.
Will we see another publisher take a spot and have their own conference?
No.
Will we get another one like a Bethesda or Square Enix or?
No. You're gonna see, of course, that space be taken up by maybe just Microsoft, probably Microsoft since they're launching a new console, or Nintendo, or maybe some other third party. But no, you're not gonna see another conference be there. No, I doubt that highly.
That's fair.
Yeah. So with that. That's the E3 news. Again, I don't think we need it. I don't think it's disrespectful towards fans, which I've heard that is kind of ludicrous, but
yeah, no,
it's not. I'm not disrespected. I never went to E3. And then when you ask, well, what about the fans that are going to E3? Most people that are going to E3 are not fans; they're working. So, no one's gonna be bummed out. Kyle, let's get to the next goober on the list, sir.
Brianna Reeves over at PlayStation Lifestyle writes, Square Enix announces delays for Final Fantasy VII Remake and Marvel's Avengers. Square Enix has delayed a pair of its biggest releases for this calendar year, Final Fantasy VII Remake and Marvel's Avengers. The delay for Final Fantasy will not keep eager fans waiting too much longer, though. Final Fantasy VII Remake's launch is being moved from March 3rd to April 10th. However, the Avengers starring title is receiving a push that spans a number of months. Originally set to hit stores on May 10th, Marvel's Avengers will now arrive on September 4th. News of the Final Fantasy VII delay came via an official statement from the development team. In the statement, producer Yoshinori Kitase briefly shared a reason for what he referred to as a tough decision. Most notably, the developers need a few extra weeks to apply final polish and deliver an experience that better aligns with the team's ambitious vision for the remake. Square Enix has delayed a pair of its biggest releases for this calendar year, Final Fantasy VII Remake and Marvel's Avengers. Hold on.
You got this, Kyle. You got this.
Oh, it got... Hold on.
Just picture the live audience with their pants off or whatever.
Hey, guess what, Joe?
What's that?
You double copied the story. So, extra weeks to apply final polish and deliver an experience that better aligns with the team's ambitious vision for the remake. Back to you, Joe.
Okay, so Marvel's Avengers. Let's get the easy one out of the way, okay?
Sure.
It's been delayed by 4 months.
Yeah, not bad.
May 20th, right? Was it 20th? No, 16th, something like that.
May 10th.
May 10th. Now all the way to September 4th.
Which was Spider-Man's release date, I believe so, right? September 4th?
Around there. Does that get you a little worried, though? That we're coming down on the wire? It's next gen? coming right after that doesn't get you alarmed at all.
Nope.
What makes you think that?
I don't get alarmed for delays anymore.
Yeah.
Because a delay is
I swear to
good.
God, say it. I swear. Okay. I thought you were gonna say the quote. I was gonna be like,
No,
shut your mouth.
was not going to. A delay is good for a game, and
Yeah.
I think when I think back to some games that got delayed and that I was upset for, you think like Uncharted 4 got a couple months delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Last of Us Part 2 even got a couple months delay. Like we're not worrying. We didn't really worry about those too much.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden we're worried about Avengers because it got like the same length of a pushback. I think it's gonna be fine.
Kyle, I'm supposed to get outrage out of you. I'm supposed to get some type of fear.
I'm also higher on Avengers than anyone else.
Now here's okay. You played it. You really enjoyed it.
I did. I had a good time.
Okay.
I can understand that they needed more polish from what I played.
Yeah.
100%. But like, I'm still excited for what that game might be, or what they position it as it being.
Here's my thought, because I know it's Avengers. It's a huge IP. I get it, but it's also a first game in. We can assume a series or whatever we're going to call a live service. So this is the first of many. I'm thinking they're delaying it for a couple of reasons. I think they want to get the models down correct. I think they want it the smoothest experience possible. But I also think that somewhere some analytics came in, someone saw the situation of Cyberpunk, Last of Us, whatever else is launching around that. There's every other game in their mother.
Yeah.
This is not a good look for us.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the line, I'm thinking pre-order numbers are lower than expected. And I'm actually thinking, here's where we talk about E3 having importance. With Sony gone, they can give another trailer for these characters, with these characters, to kind of get everybody back on the side of the hype train. Because right now, I honestly think that we saw Camilla Khan, and that trailer was amazing.
Yep.
But not everybody got to see that. And I'm also thinking that got everybody still less skeptical. They're still skeptical because, Black Widow does not look like Scarlett Johansson, or, Iron Man doesn't look like RDJ. But I do think that they want another moment to shine, to give these characters their proper due. I really think that Square Enix conference did a lot more harm than good there. But I want to get another game out of the way here.
Okay.
Final Fantasy VII.
Sure.
Got a month's delay.
Which is like nothing.
Kyle, what is wrong with you this week? Are you sick?
Are you sick? Are we really supposed to be so upset that a game got pushed back a month?
This is how podcasts work.
Besides selfish
we overreact.
Reasons.
We give analysis to the overreaction. Then a few months down the line, we go, it wasn't that bad. And then we carry on our day and continue to overreact.
I feel like the Mad Max gif. That's bait.
That's bait.
No.
Here's the thing, though. Like,
that's how some
though.
podcasters work, and I'm sure in the past I have acted that way too. But like, it's a month. It's a couple weeks. Selfishly, yeah, it's right on top of Cyberpunk. That's gonna suck. But like,
Kyle, here's the thing. I actually think this. I don't like this at all. I don't like how I have days to beat Resident Evil 3. Yeah. I have days to beat Final Fantasy 7. I have 6 days. And then I got Cyberpunk.
You don't have days. You can take as long as you want.
Hours at best.
Unless, hey, PlayStation, you want to send us the codes early?
Hey, no.
Review codes? No.
Listen, I've been told by PlayStation's own mothers. Shu's mother has come to me, and she's just like, I can't even get a review code for a Sony product.
Damn.
So, yeah, dude, it's
Miss
rough. Shu. I know. And she raised such a good boy, and you think...
Such a good boy.
Sometimes you just never know. You never know.
Was she the former head of the Illuminati? Before Shu?
I don't... Listen... Let's get back on track. Let's not speak ill of mothers here, okay? Or Illuminati.
I would never.
Such. No, the thing that worries me is, if I can be Aretha Franklin with you, is that Cyberpunk has seemed to be, at least in my sphere, such a juggernaut of just, this is a game that everybody, critics are all hyped for, and I'm just afraid we're going to get a week with Final Fantasy VII, and then it's just dunzos, and everybody else is talking about the next big blockbuster. You know, that's what I'm afraid about when it comes to Final Fantasy VII. It's not the polish that you can take as much time. To me, it's just where you're releasing the game. You're in between two big games. Now, again, they're not necessarily the same genre, but they're still two big freaking titles that I think there's some contamination between all of them. So that kind of worries me a little bit.
Can I hit you with a thought nugget that just popped in my head?
No. Yes.
No. All right. Whatever. Fine.
No.
Here you go. What if Cyberpunk also gets a delay? I've never thought it would stick to the April date. Honestly, Joe. I never thought it would stick.
Okay, so let's play this game of will they, won't they delay this game? Do you think Cyberpunk's gonna get a delay?
I would say yes, and I would even go as far as saying it might get the same month push that Final Fantasy got.
Oh, then fuck me. I have days to play Cyberpunk until Last of Us comes out.
Part of me doesn't want to think this way, but like, hey, Cyberpunk is being marketed more towards with Xbox, right? I guess. So why not have Cyberpunk come out like immediately around
Cyberpunk?
Did I say Cyberpunk? I meant Cyberpunk.
I want that game though.
That's the new Cabela's game, Cyberpunk.
It's taking revenge when you hit it with your car.
It's like Far Cry Blood Dragon. It's just like synthwave.
It has like a rocket leg. You know what I mean? Like a robot. Like it has a Winter Soldier arm.
But just imagine like having Xbox heavy marketed Cyberpunk going against Last of Us for the month of May.
Yeah, but let's be real here. We all know it's going to sell better on PlayStation. The numbers. It's the number game. So, I don't know. It just... You know what I would like? Maybe CD Projekt Red's just like, hey, fam, we get it. We also want to play Final Fantasy VII too. We're just going to push our game back to the beginning of May. Give me a good 2-3 weeks of this game. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for too much. Kyle, am I asking for too much?
No.
Audience, am I asking for too much? I don't think so. So just give me a few time. Like, just please. Some of us have full-time jobs. Okay? Not me, but I'm talking for the rest of everybody out there. Okay? Some people out there, we're working 2-3 jobs. You just want to play Final Fantasy and not have this existential moment of I'm about to spend $60+ on another game in a week. You know? Now, you might be saying at the end of this segment, Joe, how about you be fiscally responsible? All right, let me stop you right there. How about you shut your mouth? Don't give me advice, guy or gal.
If you're coming to this podcast to listen to fiscal responsibility talk, we are the two worst people to talk or to listen to about that.
That's right. But I got some stocks I'm selling. So yeah.
How many times have you bought the PSVR, Joe? Twice. I've rebought in games multiple times after trading them in multiple times.
I think that's just like a gamer creed of ours, right? Like, I think everybody in the chat has, everybody who's listening in their car right now. Tim Ulf's son, I bet he's on the way right now picking up, the same game 3 times. Like the game that comes to my mind is like Red Dead Redemption on the old 360, buying that again. Like Skyrim, how many times, right? We were talking about that on the games of the decade. So like, I know. It's the thing about being a gamer. But my thing is just like, I want to play these games. I'm excited for them.
Yeah.
I just know once I'm done with them, I'm never going to go back because that's the type of gamer I am. I don't go back to things. I'm just done. I had that experience. And that's what I'm scared because I want to experience Final Fantasy VII. I think Cloud's a cutie. I think Eris cutie. Tifa cutie. What's the dude with the long hair? Big sword?
Cloud?
Scarif? What's this guy's name? Sephiroth.
Sephiroth?
Yeah, I think he's got something going for him,
Just wait until you meet Vincent.
I just offended.
That will be in 10 years whenever that version of the remake comes
Yeah.
out. But, Joe, I feel like you and Vincent will get along great.
Oh my god, I'm gonna Google that in a second. I just offended so many Final Fantasy fans because I have no idea who these characters. I was on a roll though.
You were good.
Eris is the chick you gave the flowers to.
Yep, the flower girl, Aerith. Yep.
Tifa is the chick that everybody got up or was gonna get upset about her breast size, but then somehow wasn't.
Yeah.
And then Sephiroth
is the bad guy.
All right, see the name's throwing me off. It's
you also forgot Barrett, but that's fine.
Right.
It's not.
I don't find Barrett.
I'm giving you a pass. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I'm not into sunglasses. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I like a person that doesn't have a minigun for an arm. I'm sorry, I don't like violence, Kyle. Let's get to the next story.
Okay. Sammy Bark over at Push Square writes, PS5 will have exclusive games you can't play anywhere else. In light of Microsoft's recent comments regarding the Xbox Series X, it perhaps bears repeating that the PlayStation 5 will have exclusive games at launch. This is according to reliable Kotaku scribe Jason Schreier, speaking on the publication's Split Screen podcast. We're not talking about console exclusives here, but titles that are designed for and can only be played on the next generation system. It's perhaps worth mentioning that a majority of the PS5's launch titles will be cross-gen, as third parties will still want to leverage the sizable install base of the PS4. Rumor mongers on social media claim that Bluepoint's previously announced project will be one of the first PS5-only projects, with many speculating it's a remake of Demon Souls.
Okay. First, I gotta correct some people in the chat. Deuterino says doesn't like violence, but Bloodborne is the game of the generation.
I'm with you, Deuterino.
Sorry, I love violence. Can't get enough of it. Give me more of it. I'm just not a fan of miniguns or guns in general. They scare me. So Kyle, how do you feel about this news? The PlayStation 5 will have exclusive games that if I'm on a PlayStation 4, I cannot play.
I'm shocked this is news.
I am also. But the reason why
there you go. News, you want shock and awe? Here we go.
Here we go.
I'm shocked that this is news. Of course PS5 will have exclusive games you can't play anywhere else.
Right. But the whole reason why this is news is because Xbox came out. Matt Booty, we can all have a laugh. Came out and said, hey, for the first two... I'm immature. I get it. Sorry, Matt. Change your name. But, they came out and said the Xbox Series X will not have exclusive games, quote unquote, for a whole entire year, right? That you will be able to play your Halos, your Gears of War, whatever comes out on the Xbox One, you'll be able to play on the Series X, and whatever comes out for the Series X, like Hellblade 2, you'll be able to play on your Xbox One. And everybody kind of freaked out, sorta. Some of it was semi-rational, some of it wasn't. So what are your thoughts on the Xbox taking, again, we're not an Xbox crew here, but what are your thoughts on Xbox going, hey, listen, whatever, don't worry about it. Don't worry about your back catalog or the catalog that's coming. It's all going to be there for you.
Yeah.
Is that nice?
Yeah, that's nice. I honestly do think it's a little weird that they won't have anything for that length of time.
Is it weird because you're just not used to it?
I think that is why. Yeah, I think I'm just not that used to it, and I think it gives me a lot of pause as to why I need a Series X.
I think that's what a lot of PlayStation people, me included, who would buy an Xbox as a second console, are thinking to themselves of like, well, I have this S, I have this X, I don't feel like I need to upgrade.
Yeah.
And I've even seen some people go, yeah, I'm not going to upgrade, but I like that Xbox is doing it.
Sure, yeah.
I think it's a super pro-consumer move, but do you think, though it is a pro-consumer move, do you think it's the right move to do, Kyle? Let's think about the company, because as Mitt Romney once famously said, is that corporations are people too. So let's think about the person, Microsoft.
Yeah, that's tough. If I think you're asking me if it's a smart move.
Yeah.
It's giving a lot of people a lot of options, right? Because they are saying the games are still coming out, and at the end of the day, we want to just play games, right? And if this is just the high end thing for people that want the high end thing, then go for it. So I think it's a win-win for them. I think people that are diehard Xbox fans are 100% going to get this no matter what.
And I think that is the main goal at the end of the day, is that who's gonna be buying your console? It's the hardcore players. It's the whole hardcore gamers. And I think no matter what, yeah, a hardcore, guy gal person out there, they're gonna go out there, they're gonna buy the Series X because it's the newest, latest, and greatest in Xbox. And yeah, like, Larry, Dick, and Jane, they're not gonna mess with it because they don't have to. And I think maybe that is a way of, hey, we can have the price come down for the people that want the price reduction, have the hardcore people adopt this thing, or just give this message of hey, it's about the platform. It's not about the console itself. Because to me, I see this move as Microsoft saying, well, if we don't allow any type of a flexibility here, what we're essentially doing is taking Game Pass and breaking it up into the haves and the have-nots. Mm-hmm. And then you're also saying to the whole big segment that is Game Pass, none of the games from the future are going to be coming onto this platform. So why have it? Mm-hmm. Right? It's kind of like Netflix going, hey, listen, in order for you to watch the next season of Stranger Things, you got to buy the Netflix box. Exactly. And you'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to unsubscribe and watch The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. That's all I'm going to do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think Microsoft is really doing it, is they don't want to cut off what is a huge moneymaker is Game Pass. And they rather take the hit on not selling consoles. But, Kyle, does this effectively give this console generation over to PlayStation, do you think? Does it go, okay, you win?
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. It's definitely not starting off on the right foot for them. Right. From outside eyes. Like, it's going to be an uphill battle. But then again, when you look back at, like, the PS4 launch, it had a couple of exclusive games. But it was very much reliant on third-party support for up to the first year. Like, we had Second Son was launch window. That was February?
March.
A couple months. March? Okay, yeah. It was a couple months later. We had Killzone at launch. We had Knack at launch. We had like the PSN titles or whatnot. But it was very much heavily reliant on third-party stuff.
And that's why I also think a lot of people are overreacting at the end of the day. Both these companies are just warming up. Yeah. Right? Unless, hey, this console generation, the launch title of the PlayStation is going to hit me right in the mouth. We don't know. Because Jim Ryan has said we want a faster adoption rate than we had on the PlayStation 4, which is bonkers because the PlayStation 4 sold so well. So, I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, we had Resogun, but,
Resogun's awesome.
Resogun's dope as all hell. So, yeah, I mean, we wasted too much time on this. Let's get to the next story.
Eddie Makuch, I think that's how you say your name, Eddie. I'm sorry. From GameSpot writes, PS5 and Xbox Series X reveals have negatively impacted GameStop's business, retailer says. The holiday season is historically the most important sales period of the year for retailers. But unfortunately for GameStop, things did not go so well. The Grapevine, Texas-based retailer announced its holiday earnings today, and they dropped significantly. For the 9-week period ending January 4th, 2020, GameStop generated revenue of $1.83 billion, which is down 27.5% compared to the same period last year. Store sales fell 24.7%, which is a dramatic result given sales increased 1.5% during the holiday period last year. GameStop said the downturn in sales this holiday was due in part to the overall trends impacting the video game industry, adding that the drop-off was also impacted by the accelerated decline in new console and game sales, particularly in the month of December. Due to the poor sales results, GameStop is downgrading its fiscal 2019 earnings guidance. The company believes it has the right long-term action plans in place to help improve profitability for the company year, though no specific strategies were announced. One way GameStop is cutting costs is by closing stores. As part of GameStop's ambitious GameStop Reboot initiative, the company is closing 180 to 200 underperforming stores by February 2020, with more store closures to potentially come later. Around 55 stores are already confirmed to be closing in the United States, while more than 24 EB Games locations are closing or have already shut in Australia.
Wow.
That's sad.
That's
I
sad.
I
Yeah.
don't know about you, Joe, but we have a mutual friend that's in the kind of NYC group.
Hmm.
He reached out last week. He was like, "Hey, another GameStop by me is going down. Do you want me to go see what's there? Because everything's on clearance."
Mm.
And that just makes me sad. That was like the third one that I heard about in a couple days. Every time I
Jesus.
drive by mine, I'm like, "Please don't have that giant yellow banner.
Yeah.
Please don't have it out
I,
saying going out of business."
I don't have to worry about mine, the one I go to, because it's, I don't like to brag, but it's a prestige store. Which you think it's a nicer looking store. It's just a stupid GameStop. It just means it's a high seller.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle,
Yeah.
look, we could talk about their initiatives all day. We could talk about how they're gonna try to reinvent the brand.
Sure.
I got a question for you.
Yep.
GameStop is gonna be here in the beginning of this generation. Do
Mm-hmm.
you think by this next generation's end, they will still be around?
Sadly, probably not.
Yeah, it sucks.
And it definitely does suck.
What do you think? Because you like, I don't like. I've come to terms. Okay, I'm ready for the digital future when it's happening. Okay, but what happens to you when that digital future comes? Do you think you're going to have an alternative?
Oh, man, I would hope that Amazon would still sell physical games, and that these developers will still put them out.
Yeah,
Or is it just going to strictly just be like all games are digital, and I'm going to have to rely on limited run to create
that's
these physical stuff
and
secondhand?
that's what I'm kind of thinking. Is that
Yeah.
I think the future is in a limited run. I actually think with the fall of GameStop, I think companies like Limited Run are going to be prosperous. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to have a whole different look on retro games as well, of like, how do they work? Like, will there be one day, who knows, like a retro Xbox made by some type of weird third, secondhand retailer? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what is it going to look like? That's
Yeah,
the
I
interesting thing. That's the thing that always, I don't know, has me interested about it. But it
Yeah.
is sad. I'm one to say that I don't think GameStop's going to be around for much longer.
Yeah.
I don't think the business is sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they're like, "Hey, we'll be a hangout for kids, right? Come in, play a game, kick your feet up." I don't even think that's a winner because
No.
most kids are playing Fortnite and they're conversing on Fortnite. And I said conversing like that's what kids are actually doing.
Hey, Bill, you want to go converse after school?
I'll converse with your mom. Yeah, like I'm gonna converse you so hard, bro. You don't even know. You don't even know how hard I'm gonna converse your mom.
Oh, no.
But like that's what they're doing, right? Is that they're playing Fortnite, they're online, they're on party chats talking about their day. That's how people are hanging out now.
Yeah.
More than ever. And I think Fortnite is the analog to that. Of just people like sitting down after a long day. It's not even about winning the game. It's just about, having fun and just bullshitting with your friends. And I don't think GameStop is that place, especially how every 5 seconds it's like, so we have stuff you want to pre-order?
Well,
Know what I mean?
that's the thing. Like, as both former employees of GameStop, I don't trust them to just keep it as a hangout spot. I 100% believe there will be programs in place to get those GAs out there. Be like, hey, you know what game that is also like this that's coming out soon?
Hillary
So-and-so.
Clinton's just going to come up by you. Hello, fellow youths.
Let me converse with you for a second here.
I know. As a GameStop employee, the last thing I ever wanted to do is talk to a fucking kid. Oh my god, they're the worst. Anybody, like Luke Lord, he's in the chat. He can let you in on the awfulness that is working at GameStop. So, to me, I don't see GameStop being around much longer, but I do want to see alternative ways of how digital is going to benefit me, the consumer. Because I want a way to trade games in. I'm going to be real with you. Like, I want something that gives me the incentive. Because I would already be over on the digital side if they gave me an incentive to say, here it is,
For sure.
But I don't know. I'll feel it. I'll feel
Yeah.
it. With that, Kyle, you want to get hyped?
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about Doom Eternal's story trailer. It's heavy on lore and disembowelment.
Sam Watts, GameSpot writes.
Yeah.
Doom Eternal is inching closer, and a new trailer from id Software gives us another heaping helping of hellish carnage. This one is billed as a story trailer, but this being Doom, most of the story revolves around characters like Samuel Hayden and the denizens of Hell talking down to the Doomslayer, which seems like a mistake.
The only thing they
have
fear
to fear
is you. That was such a fucking dope line. And then right when they say that, your guy jumps in the air and just rockets a dude in the face. It's the coolest. That trailer, Kyle, walking into this Doom Eternal trailer, where was your hype for this game?
Honestly, after not finishing the first one or the 2016 one, which again, great shame can be thrown at my family. I was already hyped because it looked cool. I love the music of Doom. It freaking rocks. Yeah. I forgot. We can curse on the show. It fucking rocks. It seems like a video game ass game.
Yeah.
Right? You're just killing demons. You're doing it fast and stylish. My favorite part of this whole trailer is the end when he takes the sword and he cuts him 3 times.
Yeah.
Straight through. One at the knees, one through the middle, and the last one decapitate.
That was such a cool scene because it's amping this dude up like this is the biggest demon named Steve at the gym, and he's gonna beat the shit out of you. You're like, nope, done. Slices him up. Julianne fried this kid. Done. Over. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I was not hyped for this game whatsoever. I wasn't even gonna purchase it. I'll be real with you. I didn't think I was gonna pick it up, but now.
I thought not that long ago, you said you were super excited for Doom.
Not super excited.
Okay.
It's somewhere in the middle. If I said that, forget about it. I lied. But I'm picking it up now because Final Fantasy is weeks away. I then have a moment to myself. I think Doom's story, if I'm not wrong, is like anywhere between 12 to 20 hours. I think.
I'm not sure.
And it's just a whole lot of fun. So I'm down. And I also have it on Amazon for $40.
Ooh, that's good. Mm-hmm. Anytime you can get it less than 60. Or 65.16 if you're buying in New York.
Even if I'm not sure about the game and it's like on sale or whatever, like that weird pre-order incentive by Amazon, I pre-order it. And then what I do, here's how Joseph is real evil. Because Amazon takes forever to ship the game out, I then buy it at GameStop. And then when the case comes in, I take that game and I return it to GameStop.
Oh, that's why GameStops are failing. How dare you?
Yeah, they are. It's just my little, after firing me for giving an autistic kid a Skylander, I feel like that's just the little fair. Fuck you I need to give him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Specifically that store. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, here you go. And man, do I get my rocks off because it's kind of like Mission Impossible. Because I'm like, okay, what's the story I'm going to tell them this time? You know what I mean? I give them pre-orders. They don't care. Maybe they turn the other cheek from time to time. Who knows? None's the wiser. I want to know in the comments if you guys let us know. Please somehow reach out. PS Trophy Room on Twitter. If you've done shady shit like that in the past, what it is, please be as elaborate as you can with it.
I haven't done it to GameStop specifically. I've done it to Best Buy.
Tell me what you did. Professional sins, my child.
For my summer camp job, we do this talent show where all the groups do a dance in front of the parents and family and friends to come in. And we usually videotape it. And that year, the person that tapes it couldn't make it. So I was like running the show. I was in charge. So I went to Best Buy the night before. I bought a camera. I set it up. I used it, filmed the whole thing, put it back in the box, and then brought it back. Hours after the show ended, it was like, hey, I don't need this anymore. Oh. It got opened by accident. Right. My bad.
And they're just like, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah. Exactly.
You got to do what you got to do to be a nerd, you know? What you got to do to survive. Kyle, let's talk about glitches and messes up with the next story, sir. That's a get my phone out. Let's do it.
Colin Campbell over at Polygon writes, a PlayStation wrap-up breaks down your playtime for 2019. Now you can find out how much time you spent on your PlayStation 4 last year. Sony has posted a fun online tool that creates an infographic of PlayStation users' gaming time. The tool churns out the top 3 games you played in 2019 and how much time you spent on them. You can also find out how much time you spent gaming overall, how many days you played, how many trophies you earned, and the time of the week you're most likely to be on your PlayStation.
That's all
The
fucking
tool
weird.
will also log hours spent on your Vita if you're still using the PlayStation Portable.
Kyle, I
Yeah.
have my phone out with the stats.
I have mine screenshotted.
Okay, cool. Well, same here. Yeah. So I may be missing a thing or two because I like to edit the screenshot.
Sure.
Like to make it a little fancy. I have played in 2019 on my PlayStation Quadruple 47 games.
Whew, I got
Different
you beat.
games. Okay, how many do you get? How many do you get?
65.
Ooh, 4 more.
I
You
think,
know what
to
that
be fair,
means.
most of that is probably from Extra Life.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, because we used our console for Extra Life.
Yeah, and yeah, you played a lot. We did play a lot of games.
Yeah.
What was your top 3 games?
So here's where the glitches start.
Okay.
Because I don't believe this at all.
Okay.
I believe the first one. My first one is Borderlands 3. 121 hours. Number 2 is Death Stranding at 44.
Mm-hmm.
And number 3 is Jedi Fallen Order at 30.
Okay.
And the reason why I say I feel like this is glitched is because I put way more time into MLB The Show and NBA 2K20. I just feel like, and I play NBA 2K20 with the full minute quarters.
Yeah.
So like 12 minute quarters, 4 quarters each. That is 48 minutes each game. I played most of a season. There's no way that I played less than 30 hours of NBA for it to not make this list.
Yeah. Okay.
Something's off.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people were like reporting that like their game time was glitched.
Oh, mine is 100%.
Yeah, like I think you had like a quarter of the year itself. So my top 3 games was, can you guess them?
Yes, I can probably.
Okay, go for it.
Ooh, maybe I can't because you play over on that Xbox.
Who says that? I would like to stamp this rumor out. It's nonsense.
I don't know. I don't think you put enough time into Borderlands. I'll say Death Stranding is one of them.
Okay.
I'll say Apex.
Okay.
And number 3, I'll say Jedi.
Ooh. Okay, so here it is. Fortnite, number 1. Now
I couldn't remember if that was Xbox or PlayStation.
Always PlayStation's crossplay, baby. Here's the reason. Okay, Fortnite, I was just like, I played it a bit in January, but when Apex came out, I was on my Apex bullshit. But then I remember, there was times where I wanted to get some easy victory royale, so I play with the Nintendo guru Bobby himself, and I'd be like, okay, it's kind of like when you're playing with Switch people, it's kind of like if Alex Rodriguez went to a little bit kid's like t-ball game and just started wrecking shop. You know what I mean?
Which is already unfair. But then you have the steroid thing on top of that.
Exactly. And the fact that he kept on sliding into kids' shins, which was even when he hit home run after home run, every kid he saw, he slid right into him. And second is Apex Fortnite, 137 hours. Shocker.
Damn.
Apex Legends, 110. This is where I didn't know I played that much Apex, because this is the game that I actually play the most. Transparency is honesty. On Xbox with Luke Lord, because he doesn't want my PlayStation's in my bedroom with the love of my life, Hillary. Yeah, we got a dog. It barks every fucking minute. Yeah, so like that's something. 110 hours on PlayStation, but I'm ready to get back into it. I really am. Like I'm getting there. And then the third one is the one that I think is bullshit. Okay. The Division 2.
Oh.
74 hours.
Ooh.
Right?
Okay.
Crazy.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question.
Okay.
You played in the Division beta, correct?
You think that counted?
Does the beta hours go over?
Who knows? That could be something.
That could work.
Okay. Still, I think it would be Death Stranding, because I put like 66 hours into Death Stranding.
Yeah.
I rolled credits
Which,
on that.
again, another time that is shocking to me, because like I beat Death Stranding. I don't think it's possible in 44 hours. I don't know. And like I spent a solid 8-hour chunk making the zip lines from one end to the other end.
That is true. That is
so
true.
I don't know. There's something weird there.
Road to Greatness. Watch that. Clocked in 969. What's up, ladies? Hours of gameplay.
Yeah. So here's where things are.
Here's where things get fucked up.
Because this happened to me last year. Because they also did this playtime thing last year.
Sure.
And it happened, same thing.
Yeah.
Apparently, I have clocked in 2,425 hours of gameplay.
Damn.
Mind-boggling. I don't think that is true at all.
Yeah.
So what I think it's counting, well, just from for optically, if my top 3 games are 121 hours, 44, and then 30.
Yeah.
I don't think out of the other 62 games that I've played, I don't think that will equal up to 2,000 hours played if I did the math.
Yeah.
I just don't think that would work out.
Yeah, none of these metrics work after this because for me, it says 265 days I played, at least maybe logged on. 881 hours played locally, 28 hours on PSVR, may it live, and then 88 hours online.
But Apex is already more than that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's weird.
You know
so
what
I think it does for me is either I'm a big suspend the game in the background and leave it there for a couple days. Also, is it tracking YouTube and streaming services? Because I watch a lot of Critical Role.
I think that's what it is. I think you said it. You broke the code. It's the game suspension. When you have the console asleep, it's probably still tracking that data. There you go. We figured it out. Shu, get us hired, man. We got this. We fixed this game. So with that, that's our ranking. Again, let us know.
Do you have the trophies up, by the way? We are the trophy room. How many trophies you get?
Can we even trust the trophy count, though?
Mine's pretty accurate.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's fight. How many bronze trophies did you get?
379.
Eat shit. 435. I'm sorry, that was really mean. How many silvers did you get?
76.
91 each.
How? I have 26 gold.
I have 32 gold.
And I have 5 platinums.
I have 4. You can take the platinums. I platinum Bloodborne.
That is mind-boggling. I have more platinums than you, but you have more trophies than me in all the other categories. But probably Fortnite doesn't have a platinum, does it?
No.
You probably have trophies in Fortnite.
No.
Do they have trophies in Fortnite?
No, only Save the World mode does. Not in the
okay.
Battle Royale. You saw they gave Ninja a skin?
I did.
You know, this is what I get for trying to bring diversity into the show. I shouldn't have never let Patches plays into this podcast. We should never stream with women because
stop. Full stop. Full stop.
Or else I probably get a skin. Fucking
don't
Ninja.
let this be 2-year anniversary and we're done.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Hey Kyle, and the audience live and in your cars, wherever you are, workstations. Are you holding on to something? Hopefully your desk or the wheel. I don't know. Because prepare the drop. Each and every week, PlayStation drops the latest and greatest in all things PlayStation. The problem is that there are way too many awesome games to list. So, each co-host picks one game that they're super pumped about. This week is actually pretty weak. You know? Kyle, why are you laughing there, buddy?
Because I read Luke in the chat say, do the Sekiro voice. It's an anniversary. And then Tim Elf's like, yes. I don't know what to say.
I don't condone it. First off, all right, Dragon Ball Z Carrot Cake came out, or is coming out. I lined that up for you, and you didn't take it.
No.
I picked the Darwin Project. The Darwin Project is an outdoor futuristic battle royale style deathmatch with a strong emphasis of hunting, trapping, and survival. Not only will you be pitted against the fiercest rivals, but you will compete for the favor of an all-seeing show director. This game's cool. This was on the Xbox conference, and then nobody played it because it was on the Xbox conference. So now that it's on PlayStation, I think it is free to play. I'm going to give this a go.
Maybe I would love to play with you, Joe.
Yeah?
This is the one Battle Royale game that I saw was on Xbox that I was real upset it wasn't on PlayStation. Yeah. It reminds me of the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Because it has like the show director thing that can influence the map and the players that are playing. It sounds super cool. Yeah.
Also, can we give a shout out? I'm sorry, you do your show or your game.
Sure. My pick isn't flashy. It's a game called Gravity Error. Gravity Error is a 2D puzzle platformer about changing gravity. Guide Force in his quest seeking emotional stableness in a set of levels and avoid being crushed. Solve the puzzles in multiple creative ways. So the reason why I did not take Dragon Ball is I'm just not a fan of Dragon Ball. So I thought it would be a little incredulous for me to pick something that I'm not a fan of.
Okay. Tim Wolf says, I want Joe to do my voicemail greeting. Damn it, I said I want to read the chat, but that's great. I'm surprised you didn't choose Atelier Dusk Trilogy Deluxe Pack.
Nah.
Now, you might say, what is Atelier Dusk Trilogy? If you're thinking it's a JRPG with girls that look way too underage and not wearing enough clothing, right on the money. And there's like 8 of them that came out today. What the fuck's going on here? What the hell is going on here? And then we have Matsitsu Pure Station. Mm-hmm. You think they can't even get younger? They can, and it's frightening. It's frightening. Man, RPGs are weird. Kyle, we get into possibly my favorite segment of the show.
Yeah.
That is Andrew House's Snail Mail. Now, before we get into it, before we steal Andrew House's mail, I want to talk about some of the announcements and some of the things that are coming to the trophy room in 2020. If you missed it, if you came in live, guess what happened? We got a new intro. It's from Adam Leonard. Congratulations, Adam. I gave you too many shout outs. Now, we also have some more things that we have some announcements for. So with that, let's talk about Patreon. We launched Patreon, a soft launch back in October. And with a promise of this is something we wanted to grow, a slow pace, see what we did right and see what we did wrong. And over the next few months, we found our footing as to what we wanted Patreon to be. And as we've come to see 2020, we just read the list here, right? You got Doom, you got Final Fantasy, you got Cyberpunk 2077, you got The Last of Us, you got a new Xbox coming out, you got a PlayStation 5 reveal, and that's just the first 4 months of this calendar year. We would want to do really awesome and big things with you. We want to do more live show like these. We want to do more shows with you, and we want to be the best podcast that we know how to be, and we need your help to do that. That's why we created patreon.com/badbit, and now we've refined the tiers, created new shows, and we think it might be the best gosh dang patron out there. So the reason why we wanted to go through the route that is Patreon is kind of simple. There's so many people that come up to me that go, Joe, I listen to PS I Love You. Right, rest in peace. We listen to Sacred Symbols. I listen to Beyond. I listen to, PlayStation show A, B, and C. But we come to you, and that's so awesome that you guys even choose us in the first place. Like seeing Famous Seamus every week give us a question that literally is something that is super thought provoking. That really gets us on the edge of our seats. It gets to hit us with a hard question. That's awesome. Right? And seeing so many people come up to us and say all these awesome things is great, but we also feel like there is, on a systemic level, a way to get better where it's new microphones, where it's new audio equipment. The fact that I just bought a $1,500 computer is scaring the shit out of me. We need better software. I'm working on iMovie to edit things. I'm working on purely free what I could get my hands on. So literally Patreon is here to help support the show, to help make it feel, look, and sound better than ever before. And so with that, we have a new show. We had The Road to Greatness, and The Road to Greatness is fantastic. But it was also really hard to produce a show that was so long in the tooth, that was such a deep dive over all the things that we currently do. So instead, what The Road to Greatness is going to be is a show that highlights the latest games that are coming out to PlayStation. So Final Fantasy VII, we're going to have a deep dive roundtable discussion with not just me and Kyle, but people that are in love with Final Fantasy, and have a deep dive episode where we're talking about how this game lives up to or doesn't live up to their expectations. We're going to talk about Cyberpunk 2077 and give a deep dive conversation. We're going to have, of course, an episode filled of The Last of Us. And every time and every month where there's not a big PlayStation-esque reveal or game launch, we're going to come to you, the patrons, at the $3 bronze tier and up, and we're going to get your votes on games that we're in our backlog. So any Metal Gear Solid game, any Uncharted game that we may have missed, we're going to cover it that month for you. So that's the road to greatness.
Yeah. And I think the key there is episode. I think what we kind of ran into was like, we loved doing Road to Greatness for Death Stranding.
Yeah.
But doing it episode after episode, it's kind of, we are so far away from that experience. It's kind of hard to go back to it.
Exactly.
So if you want to listen to like us being hyped about a game, not that we don't get hyped in Road to Greatness, because it certainly happens when we remember what happened, but we want to be as fresh as possible on that episode talking about that game.
Exactly. And that's the other thing with the Road to Greatness, is that because it's so far apart, it gets a little redundant. And one thing that I've heard from a lot of podcasts is when there's a new game that comes out, there's like a 20-minute segment on that one game. I rather have a surface level, here's our initial feelings, not get into anything that people may feel spoilery, and then have a good flowing show, and then have a awesome 40 to 60 minute show all about that one game and really hit every point you want to make, rather than having to feel rushed for the sake of a show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The next tier is one of my favorites that we came up with, and that is top tier. The bronze tier plus. This is a $5 patron, and this tier unlocks top tier. And what top tier is a top 5 list show where me and Kyle are trying to come up with the best, worst top 5 list ever each and every month, with a guest host deciding who's the winner and who's the loser of the top tier tournament. It's brilliant. And you might say, what's our first show and when's it going to be coming out and who's the guest? Certainly, I'll answer all those questions right now.
Yeah.
The first show of top tier will be the PlayStation 5 launch games. What will be the top 5 PlayStation launch games? Me and Kyle are going to go head to head, and Sean Capri, yes, the man in the pants himself, will be the judgment, the jury, the executioner of what will be the PlayStation 5 launch games this year. And it will be out when this episode goes live on, well, now. So if you're listening to it in your car, it's there. Go for it. We're literally, as of recording, once we're done, we're going to record that show. We're going to put it on Patreon for you guys. And then, of course, we have the new Silver tier and Silver Plus tier. Those give you the shout outs on the show each and every week. And again, whether you're a patron of $1 or $100 or hundreds of thousands of dollars, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Elon Musk, you're going to get a shout out each and every month. That is the filibuster. Well, Philip Spencer himself, our intern, comes in, I yell at him, and it's a fun time. So again, those are our tiers. And last but not leastly, the gold tier, we actually lowered it. It's $20. It is a free shirt and a shout out at the beginning of the show, and the shirt's theme is Persona 5. So there you go. Ooh, fancy that. And so with that, Kyle, let's get into Andrew House's snail mail. Now, you know, Kyle, each and every week, you can send your questions into the trophy room a multitude of ways. You can come to the Bad Bit Discord server. You can ask your questions there. We'll put them on the show. You could write to us, tweet at us, at PS Trophy Room. Follow us, please. It helps us out a lot. You could tweet us a little question. Or what I can do and what I get my rocks off doing is you pen a letter to Andrew House and then I'll come over there and I'll steal the mail myself. And you know what? Sometimes I do a little bit more than just steal and burglarize. Sometimes I also terrorize.
It leans more 80-20 towards terrorize.
Honestly, it's sadistic.
Sometimes you go there and you forget to bring the mail back with you.
Yeah. And I'm just drenched in blood. You're like, whose blood? And I was like, yeah. Yeah. It's fucking crazy. This week, again, I flew into the chimney. I turned off my targeting computer. I dove right in, did a barrel roll because, as you know, as long as you barrel roll, you'll stick the landing. I took the mail. I jolted out of the house, and what I did was I actually battery rammed myself through the door, broke it off the hinges, not my problem, and I leapt over the gate. And this week, we got 4 people writing in. We got 5 questions. So let's start with Joshua Miller, who writes in saying this. Assuming the rumors of the PlayStation 5 being backwards compatible with all previous gens is true, do you think PS Now will allow downloads for all games as opposed to just the PlayStation 4 and PS2 classic games? Kyle, what do you think?
Yeah? I would love if that was the case. Just make it uniform no matter what console is your preference.
Sure.
I feel like it might get tricky there with the PS3 games. Mm-hmm. Just because of that stupid cell processor. I don't know if downloading it will make it any difficult to run.
Yeah.
But like as far as like if they go back to PS1 games, I think that would probably be the best option is to just download them.
I think when the PlayStation 5 gets announced and gets revealed, that there is an option to both stream it and download it. I really do think that is something that needs to be there. I think you should be able to download every game on your PlayStation 5. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I think that this feature is definitely going to happen. I definitely think it's going to be a part of the PlayStation Now or integrated into PlayStation Now. And yeah, I think you'll be able to download all the games because if you're not, that's stupid.
Yeah.
It really is. So yeah. The Batchild himself, Stephen Fontana, writes in. He asks, do you think with both next-gen consoles being backwards compatible, I sense a theme, we could see servers from last generation PlayStation 3 and 360 games can be turned back on, ? The next gen can breathe new life into older games, and PlayStation 3 and 360 generation sort of started the whole online multiplayer craze. So, yeah. Kyle.
Joe.
What do you think? Are we going to get our Uncharted 3 multiplayer servers back on? Warhawk's coming back, Kyle?
Mag?
The world-changing Mag's coming back?
I don't think so. I think from a cost standpoint, I don't think that makes much sense. Here's a question for you, and since we're doing this live, the chat can answer as well, but like the 360 games that are backwards compatible on the one that have that component that where the servers are gone, are they back up? Or is it just single player for those stuff?
No, they're off.
Okay, so I think that would probably be the norm where they stay off.
Because I remember like there was a whole like in memoriam for like Halo 2 and Halo 3, I think. There's like even a petition, and like Microsoft's like, nah, fam. So yeah, I don't think it means that these games are gonna have any new breath of life in them. I think that the games that work right now, and I think you see that like Master Chief Collection is the whole catalog of Halo in one game, new engine and everything, and people seem to love it there. You know what I mean? So when it comes to multiplayer games, like I would love to see Red Dead Redemption. I think those servers are still back up. I think you could see an improvement from there of like people jumping back into those games. So I think the games that still have servers working, they're going to last a bit longer. But even then, when I think of Red Dead, I think of 2K pulling the plug so that you're going back into Red Dead 2 and buying all that gold. You know what I mean? So yeah. The next 2 questions comes from the most famous Seamus himself, and he writes in with this. How many exclusives do you think the PlayStation 5 should have at launch? Kyle, I think a good 5, because that's what we're doing a show on later.
Yeah, let's go with 5.
Kyle, I'm going to be honest.
What?
I texted Kyle, guys. I said, I was being real cryptic. I said something along the lines, and you didn't answer. You did the smart play. You just ignored me. And I said, let me see. Let's just wait. Wait, 1 second. Oh, yeah, I said, tell me, Kyle. Do you believe in a higher power? A god, perhaps? And Kyle ignored it. I want to answer that question. Kyle, do you believe in a higher power?
Yes, I do.
After the first episode of Top Tier, you will believe that the devil exists.
Man, I'm so excited.
Podcasting with him the whole time.
I'm so excited for everyone to hear what that show's going to be, because I
man.
still am not fully understanding what the criteria of these games shall be, but you'll find out soon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. The Doom Marine is a guest on the Trophy Room. What questions do you guys ask him?
Does it smell? Do you throw up in the suit because of all the gore and guts? How heavy is that chainsaw? Have you ever shot yourself by accident?
It's true. So the Doom guy is a guest on the Trophy Room.
Yeah.
Right? We're all thinking it. You take a nap? How does that work?
Yeah.
You ever take the armor off?
Yeah.
Spend a weekend with the kids?
Sure.
Do you have pajamas that you wear over the armor?
How do you add the armor that you pick up to your existing armor? How does that work?
Yeah. Do you have a brother or sister?
Do they approve of your occupation?
I was about to say, do your parents approve of what you do? I would hope so. You're fighting demons, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of demons, you know?
Are you in love with a demon?
Ooh.
Have you ever met a demon that you didn't want to kill?
Is she trapped in hell just like that, oh God, that Robin Williams movie where he goes to heaven, but his wife's in hell and he's trying to save her?
My mind is blank. I don't get that reference.
I think that's a movie somewhere. Someone down below. I remember watching that as a kid, and that's how I learned about mortality. It didn't freak me out one bit. Let's see. Nasty Boots writes in, with the whole hullabaloo of Xbox not having exclusives, do you think it will kick off... do you think... I don't know what type of English Nasty Boots shit on here. Do you think that there'll be PlayStation 4 games that are cross-gen with PlayStation 5, like exclusive games? Do you think PlayStation's going to do the same thing?
Yeah, so the games are also coming out on PS4 and PS5?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we'll get a Ghost version, PS5 version of Ghost. I think we'll get a PS5 version of Last of Us.
But don't expect like the order
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, don't expect the order 1886 though.
No.
You know, no. But I do expect that you're going to be able to play the whole backlog of PS4, no doubt.
Yeah.
Because they want to make sure that remember when Jim Ryan's like, we want that adoption rate high, that's because he wants the ecosystem to be seamless. You know? Yeah. So, yeah, that's what we got. And with that, don't worry, chat. We're going to get to you in a sec. We'll answer all your questions. But that has been The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. Kyle, is there anything you'd like to pimp out before you go?
As always, I'd like to pimp out myself. WhoDatNinja73 on Twitter and on PSN. You can find my show all about the Kind of Funny community at BFS Talk Funny on Twitter and Best Friends Talk Funny wherever you listen to podcast services. I have a new thing that I'm doing soon that will be coming out maybe in the next couple weeks or so. It's D&D inspired, so if you like D&D, look out for that. And if you're in the New York area, check out Kinda NYC.
Famous Seamus comes in with the save. The Robin Williams movie is What Dreams May Come. Look that up. IMDb it. Guys, you can follow the show here at PS Trophy Room on Twitter. You can follow the show on iTunes, SoundCloud. Well, not SoundCloud, but again, patreon.com. Help us. We'll be on SoundCloud if you do. I messed that up. 1 second. This is where you'll see an edit, guys. Ready? You can check the show out on PS Trophy Room on Twitter. You can follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your RSS feed, except for SoundCloud. But please help us out on Patreon, then we'll get there. And yeah, and there you go. There you have it. And you can follow us here at Bad Bit Games on YouTube as well, where we'll talk more than just PlayStation, but who cares about all that? So with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation.